Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the Strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. In this video, I am going to show you how to set up a housing block exclusively for heavenly compounds in Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom. Now, placing down this first tile is the most important one. You want to have at least 5 tiles free in every direction. So I have at least 5 tiles free. Now, we are going to use multiplication to figure out the lengths of these roads that we're going to build for this housing block. Since this is the hardest difficulty, every road tile costs me 3 gold. So if I build 33, that would mean I have moved 11 tiles. That's precisely what I'm going to do. 33 in the shorter direction, and we want to pull down to 57 in the longer direction. Now you want to close the loop, and it should cost you 87 gold if you have done it correctly. Now you have to make space for the market, which is done on the longer end. So in either from here or here or here, but not towards the short end. This is not what we want to do. So let's get rid of the ones that we don't want. You just need one entrance for markets, and the rest is going to be covered with housing. We're going to put down a phenomenal amount of housing over here. So let me now go ahead and wall up over here. So I don't want the walkers who are walking in this housing circuit to leave, and therefore this is going to be open only to market workers who are going to be able to come in. Now, we want a lot of desirability, and we can only get that with Imperial ways. So you want to start with the shorter end and draw it out. If you have done it correctly, it should cost you 240 gold. Unless you have Confucius in your city who will halve the cost of building Imperial ways, you should get a cost of 240, as you can see. 240 on either direction, and the longer should be 384. These are important numbers. You should commit them to memory. Next, we are going to grandway the edges up to the walls. So essentially, you have created a closed loop, the inside of which the inner diameter should be 48, and the shorter inner diameter should be 24. This is all going to get filled up with houses. Let us now start placing the houses. So we are going to start with this corner. We're going to place a house here. We're going to leave a gap of 4. If you are limited in terms of how much ceramic which you have, then you want to first place down the housing, and then when you have more ceramic, you can put in more as you see fit. So I'm going to leave some gaps so that you can see the critical ones. So those are the corner ones. And again, you leave a gap of 4, leave a gap of 4. And there we go. We have ceramic issues. So let us continue. Now we have gotten houses around this stone. So what we want to do is now we want to delete all of these trees, because we want to place down our service buildings. So first one will be an inspector tower, which is right here. It's going to evolve on its own. In case it doesn't, there it goes, it already evolved, but you can put in some tasty cherry trees in behind it. If it's on an Imperial way, it will evolve. There shouldn't be an issue. Let's continue with safety. So let's go to number 5. Then you want to have 1 herbalist stall, 1 acupuncturist. So they might not complete the loop, but as you know, with the common housing block, they can come out from this side, do half, and the next time they will do the other half. It's going to be 50-50 probability. There is no chance this is going to go down and collapse. And I will show you at the end of the video one of the working ones. Now, 3 buildings are all you need from the safety, because you don't need anything else. You don't need wells, because elite housing come with their own wells. They can draw their own water. You don't have to supply water to them. and therefore you have to make sure that you place them on green grass. They won't grow, they won't go on desert sand because they don't have any place to draw water from. Next, you want to not place a watchtower over here, because the maximum number of houses that you have and the maximum number of buildings that you have are in the common housing, which we have seen in the other video, and there is very little probability that there will be spies made over here. You can always put them outside. I don't do it because I can squeeze in one more heavenly block in this way, and that for me makes enough money, and that makes me happy. I'm a min-maxer. I enjoy getting more money in the bank. Now, from the government tab, you want to tax them. This is not a philanthropic organization. We are going to tax them to the max. Taxes are going to be set at outrageous. Make sure your wages are going to be very high. If you do that, let's go to the city finances. You can do that by double pressing 6. You can see we are making 54,000, almost 55,000 in taxes alone, while we give a paltry wage of 8,000, close to say 9,000. So there is a 1:6 ratio between the taxes we get and the wages we put. This is just criminal, but hey, if it works. Now you want to go to the, and we don't need any other buildings from the entertainment, from the government. Next set of buildings is the entertainment, and the only one which needs to be on this loop is going to be a theater pavilion. Now the theater pavilion can actually go anywhere you choose inside this block, but I choose the corners because often it takes often say I would place it in this corner over here, because the market lady and the entertainment guys enter from this end, and then it might cause certain issues for people to reach all the way to that end. Not in this end, but in that end. So you would want to replace, say, this one with a theater pavilion. We put it over here, it'll work fine, no problems. And you want to have a music school and a dance school. So it is going to require all three kinds of entertainment. They are going to be outside the loop, which is going to be in a different place. They like stone, so they need to go to stone. So the map maker has put in cleverly placed stones, and then he has covered it with trees so that we can use them for either getting the stone influence or the trees. We next need to go to religion, which is the most important one. Again, 3 buildings will come from here. Let's put down an ancestral shrine, which is right there, and that is requiring a lot of greenery and trees. Next comes our Taoist shrine, which requires stone. So if you try to place it here, it won't go. You're going to place it over here. Lastly comes the Confucian Academy, and it's going to go 4 tiles from your entrance block. That is super important because now you can place 2 elite housings on either ends of it, and then the others are just going to get placed accordingly. So we have still ceramic issues, and now the rest of this is all going to get filled up with elite housing. So your entire block, every tile over here is going to be filled with heavenly compounds. Now, this is of course a very elite, very expensive place. So you want to get it completely sealed off from all the peasants who might come over here clamoring equal wages, higher minimum wages. We don't want to talk to them. We want to make sure either we have a moat protecting us so that they don't come to us, or we have these tasty walls which go ahead and remove all of their negative influence and clamor. The corners palaces do not sit on imperial ways. They sit on a grand way. So he requires some special treatment. So we are going to put in some statues, and they're going to fit in exactly. There we go. Right. You want to also do it on this end. and we don't have any more space in the back. Therefore, we're going to put some nice tasty plum trees, which is going to prevent people from also entering because they are solid objects. We can also go ahead and do that over here. I won't do the whole thing because we have the stone, we have to keep it covered in trees, because my plan is to put another housing block for heavenly compounds right over here to maximize the amount of money we squeeze out of them. There will be corners like over here where you want to put down plum trees, which is going to give a lot of nice, beautiful amount of desirability, and we are going to continue closing off the corners with these statues. Statues are going to protect your people, give desirability, will pop up. If there was a guy over here with a heavenly compound, it's going to make sure it goes up all the way. You want to cover this, rest everywhere else you want to place all of these with. So there are a few more houses which we will do once we get more ceramic. So this is how you build it. Remember the dimensions, that's all you need, and then you want to place it depending on the feng shui. So once you know where your stones are, that's where your inspector tower and your Taoist temple goes. Once those are figured out, you would be able to place the rest of it with perfect feng shui. Wait for people to come in and then tax them to the max and get a lot of money in. I'll see you in the next video where I'll show you this block in action. This has been the Strategic Indian, signing out.